This one's a bit rough, actually in more ways than one. First of all, it deals with racism. Police brutality, police shootings, that sort of stuff. Which is rough to watch because it just makes me so mad. I mean, if there's one thing in this world that gets under my skin, it's blatant injustice. You know, like people getting shot by cops for no reason whatsoever. And the cop who did it getting a slap on the wrist. That kind of stuff gets to me. And I don't want to get into the politics and all that, but that's the sort of thing this movie deals with. It's about this girl who lives in a bad neighborhood, but goes to a nice school. So she sort of has one foot in two different worlds, and feels like she has to act like two different people. Well, at least that's what the narration in the beginning says. It also says that she doesn't use slang, especially in school, and if a rapper would use a word, she doesn't use it. However, right after the narration says that, the next two conversations involve her using slang at school. And if you pay attention, she doesn't really act any different in those two environments. So that's the first problem right there. It says one thing, then contradicts itself. And I'll be honest, there's more issues too. Like how corny some of it is. I mean, there's a lot of corny stuff in this. It almost feels like a TV movie in a lot of ways. And one of the plot lines, the one involving the drug kingpin, is completely unnecessary. It's very clear that it's only there to add drama, and the thing that instigated it could have been so easily avoided. So that kinda irked me too, it just felt so forced and pointless. And those are kinda my issues with the movie. It's corny and there's some pointless drama. However, for some reason, I still couldn't help but to like it. And well, I guess it boils down to the fact that the movie has heart. And it's a competently made movie too, with some really solid acting. The bad stuff also isn't offensively bad either. It's just slightly annoying and disappointing. But it's not enough to really take anything away from the overall experience. And yeah, the pacing is good, it looks better than a TV movie, and it handles the subject matter relatively well too. It's not completely black and white. And it doesn't just give you the cops are bad and should be put in prison angle. I mean, it definitely leans more toward that, but at least it acknowledges that it's more complicated than that. It makes it clear that there's a lot of nuance in these situations, and at least it tries to give some sort of balanced view of it. Not every time an unarmed person gets shot by a cop is it because of racism. There's a lot more that goes into most of these situations, or at least some of them. I mean, the whole thing's a mess and it makes me genuinely upset too. But it's something worth talking about and bringing up. And movies like this probably aren't gonna change anything, but at least it's talking about these issues and driving the conversation in the right direction. Which is probably better than nothing. And you never know, sometimes movies do have a real impact. But yeah, I liked this movie. I thought it dealt with some important issues in a fairly balanced way. It could have been even more nuanced, and it did feel a bit heavy-handed sometimes. But it tried, and it definitely didn't feel like it was hitting you over the head with an agenda. And it didn't feel preachy either, which a lot of these kind of movies do. And overall, none of the issues really detracted from the essence of it. Which is well-intentioned and pretty non-judgmental too. All things considered. It doesn't villainize cops, drug dealers, or anyone else either. It realizes that everyone's a product of their environment, and part of that environment. And the environment needs to change, which means it's on the people to make that change. That's the message here, and I was kinda surprised by how positive and hopeful this movie's outlook actually is. And it left me feeling kinda good, which was sorta unexpected. But would I recommend it? Yeah, I think it's worth a look. So check it out. Or don't. I'm not your dad.